Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon, sir. Uday, sir, once again. Uh, Uday, sir. Yeah, now it is streaming, sir. Uh, Once again, good afternoon to all of you. Welcome to the session on problem solving and ideation workshop. It is being organized by EEE department in association with IIC-MECS. So I welcome Mr. Uday Vikas, sir, co-founder, Utpanna Design Works, and I request my head of the department, Dr. G. Ravindranath Garu, to give a brief introduction about the speaker, and the speaker will explain about his achievements to the audience. Thank you.
Uh, Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Mr. Uday Kumar. He is a BTech from JNTU affiliated college, and the beauty of it is that he got his master's degree as MDes. Everybody knows only MTech and MSc, all those things. People are not knowing anything about MDes. DES stands for design. He specifically chosen that branch, and he successfully completed from Dehradun College of Engineering, and he has started his own company, that what you can see, that Utpanna, and is really into an innovation stream, and he has got many innovation projects, and I think he is very busy with the implementation of that innovative projects, and being students, you make use of him and then get new ideas. The topic itself is problem solving and ideation. It's a very good novel thought. Please follow him, and then Mr. Uday give our students and collect their ideas, and then please suggest them what to do, all those things, please. I hand over the session to Mr. Uday Kumar, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank Matrusri Engineering College and
Uday, sir,
Department of Electronic Engineering.
along with students or faculty, ambassadors, innovation ambassadors are there. I hope that you will enlighten all the people, both students and faculty, in this area. Thank you, sir. I will stop my presentation. You can share your presentation.
Sure.
And before that, you can give your brief introduction about your.
First of all, I would like to thank Matrusri Engineering College and the Department of Electronics for this opportunity to showcase about what we do and what are our skill sets and what is the kind of problem solving and innovative things that we develop. We thank you for the platform that has been presented, and we also thank the head of department, Dr. Dr. Ravindranath, for giving a very sweet introduction of our work and what we do. So that being said, we are industrial designers. We deal in the styling and aesthetics of products. I know when everybody speak about design, they generally tend to understand that it is engineering design or fashion design or something like that. But this is a profound stream which concentrates purely on the aesthetic, styling, functionality, and the ergonomics of products, thereby enriching everyday people's lives and creating stunning products that make a change in the way a product is used. So just to give a small introduction about what we do and who we are, I'm just presenting my screen. Yes, I hope everybody can see my screen.
Yes, sir. It is okay.
Right. Just to give a brief understanding, this is my organization. It is called Utpara Design Works Private Limited. We are an industrial design organization. So what we do and what we are is a bit of a challenge in the Indian perspective, because design is something which is available in India but not yet very mainstream. You have a very prominent designers that are coming to the fore. For example, in the automotive sector, it might be Pratap Bose or a couple of other people. There is Professor Ranjan, who's from NID, and a lot of other design esteemed design fellows are available in our Indian design stream. So our this thing, we focus mainly on industrial design, aesthetic styling. So the process is somewhat like we start from the sketch and we end up till manufacturing. So for example, you might have an idea that I would like to create say for example a new bicycle. So we start from the sketch. We understand what a bicycle is, why it is required, how has it to be manufactured, where it has to be put in, for how much it has to be sold, and who are your potential customers. So this kind of research happens first. Then we go into the ideation phase, wherein we understand. See, every opportunity comes with an opportunity statement or a problem statement, wherein you try to address that using different design methodologies. So once you conclude that, you have a concept which is ready, and then we take the concept to say prototyping and CAD modeling. And once we are we are definite with what is the direction that we want to go to manufacturing, then we go ahead and get into the manufacturing of things. So that is a small ideation of our processes, that what we do. And just to give a small idea of who we are and what are our favorite skill sets. So we are into automotive design, which is the design of traditional vehicles as well as your new age electric vehicles. So we design buses, we design motorcycles, we design cars, we design bicycles, we design tractors. So everything under the sun which can move a person, we do design that. And when it comes to product design, there are a couple of say for example consumer electronics, the new age materials, say 3D printers or electric vehicle chargers. Our expertise is in designing those products which have an optimum use case value, as well as which looks good, which is aesthetically brilliant, which has the aesthetics of the future, which have the functionality and the usability desired by the user, which are easy to use, easy to operate, and good to look at, and also affordable to manufacture. So these things are our core values, and based on these values, we design these products. So these are all products that we've designed over the years, which are available in the market for you to purchase. I see these vary from a 3D printer, like how this prints carbon fiber. So it varies from 3D printers right up to say electric vehicle chargers, motorcycles, buses, cars. And since the advent of social media or the internet age, you have a lot of platforms which are being developed. We are also into developing the UI, user interface, and user experience design parameters of those platforms, thereby creating a value based proposition for the market. Of course, graphic and retail space design has always been embedded into our core philosophies. So we have a penchant for creating outstanding graphic design, as well as creating memorable retail space designs, wherein people tend to come and interact more at our venues. So when you speak about problem solving, and when you speak about say the ideation phases, it happens through four major areas of work, which is the research phase, next is the conceptualization phase, next is the prototyping phase, next is the post prototyping phase. So at all these junctions, at all these four areas, you would encounter unique, I would say, opportunities. Say problems is a very negative way of looking at things, wherein if you consider them as a problem, you generally tend to keep solving it and try to solve it further. But when you consider that thing as an opportunity, you would try to go deeper into understanding the thing first. What is it and why is it required? And then look at solving that. So that understanding of the thing happens when you put a very positive annotation to the issue. Rather than calling it problem solving, we at our organization Utpanna, we define it as opportunity and ideation. So every problem that we encounter, we consider that as an opportunity. And once you consider something as an opportunity, you would tend to focus your energies more on creating a substantial value out of that opportunity. And in that, you would require certain methodologies that would help you to arrive at an optimal solution. And to make that optimal solution work, you have certain methodologies that has been displayed in front of your screen. For any opportunity or any problem statement that we receive, opportunity statement that we receive, we start with the research. We first understand what the product is about, what the opportunity is all about. We conduct market research. We conduct your uh, basic Google search or basic online research for that. Then we speak to a couple of people who have used the products, who have an idea of the product. Then we speak to a couple of people who have been engaged with similar products and understand their expertise on that. And we collect this entire data, and then we synthesize this data to understand the opportunity better. Once you understand the opportunity better, you would be able to define the opportunity better. And once you are able to define an opportunity better, you would be able to solve the opportunity better. So definition of a problem is as important as the solution of a problem. So sometimes what happens is we might not be able to define the problem particularly or correctly. Say, I hope everybody has TV connections at home. Somebody would be using Tata Sky or something like that, because I'm using the same over here. Sometimes while watching the TV or something, for example, the signal suddenly gets interrupted. So over there are 3 or 4 different scenarios wherein the signal gets interrupted. One, it could be raining. 2, there could be, say, cloud cover, or because of wind or something, the position of the antenna could be changed. Or 3, there could be a default in the set-top box itself. If you do not understand and if you do not identify what the problem or the opportunity is, you would be wasting time in finding out why the problem has occurred, rather than focusing on how to solve the issue. So these methodologies help us to correctly identify what the opportunity is and define it properly. And once we define it, then we go into the conceptualization phase, wherein we start with, say, basic sketches or basic understanding of the product, defining the product, underlining the root causes, and then how to solve the issues. Then comes sketches, renders, conceptualizations, 3D models, CAD models, and then finally we would arrive at a final concept that would be going ahead to prototyping. Because even at this stage, we are still not yet sure if that is the correct solution for us, because right now whatever we have done is only on paper. But at this stage, we start developing and we start prototyping our ideas, be it, say, actually creating, say, a vehicle, or actually creating a product using different mock materials, either clay or foam, or 3D printing the product, understanding the volumes, understanding the proportions, looking at the internals. Will the correct set of things, what the, say, for example, a client has requested for, will it fit in this package? And once we are happy with what we have done, then we move into the post prototyping stage. That is, now we'll have to start with the design for manufacturing molds, analysis, and finally then we enter the packaging and shipping the product. So this is the complete gamut of things that we do at our organization. Just to give you a small idea, these are a couple of chargers that we've developed over the years. This is for a Hyderabad-based company called EVRE. They wanted a very premium and an aesthetic-looking charger. We started right from that's what we've identified their issues. We've identified their solutions. We started right from the sketch phase. We understood what goes where, how it has to be, what happens where, and then we developed the product accordingly. And this is how the product is looking at. This has been manufactured and this is how the product is currently available at. This is some information about our organization. You can later check out my website and stuff like that. So when it comes to problem solving and ideation, there are, in our entire journey after beginning our organization, there are quite a few challenges that we have encountered, and there are quite a few different products that we've developed. The product that I'm about to showcase to you is one such product which is very close to heart, because we've not only solved one issue with this product, we've in our process of understanding the issues, we've identified 4 different problems, and we've found out only one solution that could address 4 different problems. So this is something that is a very innovative product that we've done, and this is a case study for that. We wanted to start with a multi-function integrated street lights for the future. So looking at the boring street lights that Hyderabad and many of our cities have, we wanted to sort of infuse some enthusiasm into the street lights and make them very aesthetic and make the surroundings very beautiful. So we started understanding what a street light is and how the street light has to function, where it has to function, and what else could what else could be added into the functionality of the street lights. That is when it struck us, all our cities are very polluted and electric vehicles are going to be the next way. There is a bunch of air pollution, there is noise pollution, there is sound pollution. So what we understood was, can there be one effective solution wherein we address all these issues with one product? And even Government of India has started now aggressively pushing for the EV adoption with the rising fuel prices and stuff like that. We wanted to find out if there is one product which we can put up, which would solve, say, at least the electric vehicle conundrum, because even today 95% of our market is still petrol vehicles, but in the future vehicles would be electric. How do we integrate and reduce pollution through that electric vehicle ecosystem, as well as utilizing the street infrastructure rather than building new things and wasting material? How do we use the existing infrastructure to understand what can be incorporated? That is when it struck us that streetlights are available everywhere. They are also electrically powered. What if we use the streetlights to charge the electric vehicles? So that is one area that we felt, okay, this could be a game changer in the industry. And then we worked diligently towards focusing and creating that solution. And then it again struck us. Whenever you see the news data, you only get, say, for example, pollution level at major cities. And you, say, for example, somebody who's staying in, say, LB Nagar will not be able to understand the air quality or the pollution index at his area, because it is only standardized for per city. There is no localized air quality index. So that is when we again understood streetlights are everywhere. What if we utilize the same streetlight to understand the air quality index of localized areas? So for example, Uppal, Tarnaka, Banjara Hills, Secunderabad. These all areas could have independent air quality indexes, and you can access this information based on your localized applications. So that is again one more idea we felt like, because our cities are crunched for spaces. Not only our city, major cities in India, say either be Bombay or Mumbai or Bangalore or Chennai or Delhi, Kolkata, you take any other major cities in India, we are crunched for spaces. We absolutely do not have the liberty to waste material and to waste space. So street lights were our perfect opportunity where we could have integrated many opportunities and many functionalities. So that is what we've done, and we went ahead. So we wanted our street light to be very modern, very sleek, very futuristic, and it has to utilize the least amount of space possible. So based on that, we started our ideations, wherein not only will this be, say, a kind of a street light, this would also act as an electric vehicle charger. It would also have the air quality indexes, and it would also have air quality monitoring systems, weather monitoring systems, as well as integrated cameras, wherein it also can function as, say, traffic in case of traffic or something. You can have live updates. It also has to have, again, all these technologies are little expensive. What if I have to invest into this? What are my returns? That is also something which many people tend to forget. If you're investing into technology, what are your returns? So for that, you also incorporated those advertisement boards on the street lights, so that the street light can pay for itself. So based on that, this is the sort of first prototype and first design that we've developed, and we've named it as IntelliPole. If you can look into it, this has, if you can look into the box on top, there's the integrated LED street light with weather monitoring systems. You can also have the solar panel integrated and utilize the solar lighting for the street lights, for the lighting up of streets. You have electric vehicle charging infrastructure attached into it. You also have cameras and monitoring systems attached into it, so that this will also become your SOS points. So this is how the first and initial design happened, and this is how the product got patented. We've got patents for the product, and this is how we've solved 4 issues using one product, utilizing our ideation skill sets and utilizing our effective design intervention. And this is also installed at various localities all over India. Mahindra has purchased 100 of our streetlights, and it has been installed at their Mahindra World City, the R&D center in Chennai, as well as 5 metro cities, which includes Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, Hyderabad, and Chandigarh. So all these cities have our streetlights integrated, where you have monitoring systems, weather monitoring systems, electric vehicle chargers, everything integrated into one solution. Later on, based on our aggressive government policies, now all the high-rise apartments also need to have uh, electric vehicle charging infrastructure embedded into their parking places. So this also, now we've this also opened up a new avenue for us, wherein these gated communities are also purchasing this street light from us. So this is again an innovation where you have one product which suits multiple use case scenarios. So this is at one of our locations where they were using the street light to charge the vehicle. So these are a couple of features that it has. So you can even incorporate CCTV, and it effectively becomes a surveillance system as well. So I hope you understood, with a brief experience, how do we start with something and then how do we end with that? And that is what I wanted to showcase first before understanding what we can do further. Any questions from anybody on this?
For design, what are the softwares are available, sir? May I know the free softwares which are available for basic designs?
Okay, this thing, again, this is not engineering design that we are doing, right? We start with pencil and paper. That's the first software that we use. It's basic pencil and paper. We start with a sketch. Then further we take it into design. When we speak about design, I'm speaking about industrial design. We have Sketchbook and Photoshop that we generally use for creating these sketches and renders. Then we have Alias and other high-end surfacing softwares where we create those Class A surfaces, and then it goes to the engineering design department, wherein the engineering design softwares are used to create the manufacturing drawings or manufacturing parts for that to get it molded or fabricated.
Okay, sir.
Mr. Uday, that ideation you start with sketching, and then suppose if any technical problems comes, size of the thing have to be increased or reshape it, all those things, then how it can be addressed.
So for that, what we generally do is we tend to understand the volume first. For example, if you have to create a street light, there are certain basic parameters that you follow for a street light. So there are certain heights and certain dimensions that it has to confine to. There are certain standards. First, we understand the standards, that they should fall within these standards. And within these standards, then you can, I mean, the shape and everything is not defined, but you have the scope of innovation there. And technically speaking, at every stage, again, every stage you will encounter a new problem, be it materials, be it the shape, be it manufacturing processes. And there, that is where I showcase those policies that we have. That is where we start the innovation program in such a way. What we can do is, I have a small interactive session with everybody here. It would just take 20-25 minutes.
Okay.
What we can do is, so if does everybody have a pen and paper?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Since we are all electronic, this is all electronics and electronic engineering, we have a very profound idea that we want to solve. For example, right now, electric vehicles are being implemented and electric vehicles are being the norm, correct? So they're all battery operated and there are certain technologies in that. So one is the charging stations that I showcased you. That is something that which is available. What I want everybody is to take 5 or 10 minutes out of your time. I'll explain how things happen and how is the ideation process which goes across. So every electric vehicle has a battery, correct? So there are certain batteries which can be removed and which can be, I mean, it's called a swappable battery. Correct? So that swappable battery can be replaced at a station. It's called a charging station, swappable battery charging station. So battery swapping station. So that is one more idea which is very, which is very popular all over the world, wherein you can have a swapping station integrated into a petrol station. Wherein people would come, they will take out this battery, put it back into that, take a new battery, put it in the vehicle, and it's like sort of filling fuel. And then they'll charge you something for that, and they'll go ahead with those. Again, next person would come, they'll use another battery, and then they'll use. So this cycle would continue until again that charging station would be charging these batteries up for the next user. This is one more use case scenario. Since you're all electronic students, what could be the third? One is regular charging stations that I've showed. One is the swapping stations. What could be the third way of doing things, of charging a vehicle?
We can keep the auxiliary battery, sir.
That is already there. Battery is there. Battery charging station is already there in the auxiliary batteries. Again, auxiliary battery is part of the battery system itself. Correct? Forget all the conventions. That is what happens. So this is where the interesting part is. Everybody has pen and paper. This is called something which is called as brainstorming. Let us brainstorm. Where does the vehicle go maximum? Think about points like this before arriving at a solution. One is, where is the vehicle used the max? At what points can we install something? What is the new technology that could be installed? How it could be installed? And where it could be installed. So think in those matters. Take 5 minutes. Write down all possible scenarios. Say, for example, you own you have electric motorcycle. There is no charge point access. There is no, say, swapping station. What is the third way that you can charge it? say public infrastructure way. Take 5 minutes of your time. I would want everybody to write down multiple options. It could be as crazy as a supermarket. Write down all the points. And then we'll go into the next step of it. Is everybody up for it?
Especially students are informed to interact actively with the speaker.
If everybody's up for it, yes, then we'll do it. Take 5 minutes. Write down which could be how you can charge the vehicle without these two options.
Regenerative braking, sir.
Yeah, that could be one. That is already available. That's already there in all the vehicles. That is available. Let us think about something beyond that. For this, I would want everybody to write at least like whatever you get in your mind, write it off, switch on your cameras and put it in front of the camera.
Uday sir,
Yeah.
we have one option. We can have an app so that if anybody have adequate charging, so he can sell the power to others.
Yes, that's
And
one good
who
option.
has less power, he can get from them.
Exactly.
It is available.
So that's kind of a barter system that we can do. We can integrate and create, say, an ecosystem where you can ask and borrow charge. That's a very good idea.
Yeah.
Next.
And the thing is, if they keep the vehicle's parking place, so the excess power is there, they can be connected to grid.
Yes.
So that can be taken from the grid. So one here is not having power.
Somebody can utilize that.
Somebody is going to out of station. If excess power is there, unnecessarily he can transfer the power to grid, or he can sell to others. So this is the way something can be done.
So the grid option is something which will underline and keep it. That's a very nice idea. One grid. Anybody?
App-based selling and
App and grid. App and grid. Two options.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
All the participants, please interact actively. It is not a regular class.
I am bored of regular classes. Yeah, that's the reason I've taken this up. You can happily speak. If everybody is comfortable in Telugu, I can even interact in Telugu.
Well, sir, meanwhile, you can throw some light on any ideation and the new ideas.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be
Grid option is something. See what I thought was in the same process, what we can charge is vehicle any which ways runs on a road, right? What if the road itself charges the vehicle? Since you're all electronic engineers, what if we can create a road that charges the vehicle wherein you need not stop the vehicle? Say a kind of a connector, something hanging from the car, and it attaches, it goes on the road, and then we can keep charging on the road. A road charges the electric vehicle, and you can have endless power. The power of the road also comes from the sun.
even in some countries, the below of the chassis they are keeping connectors to the road.
Correct. So now we've identified. So this is how the ideation happens. This is how problem solving happens. Now we've identified one solution. Say for example, let us consider this road as the solution. Like we've identified that. Let us charge the vehicle on the road itself. So that becomes our opportunity statement. What we'll do right now is we'll write it as charging an electric vehicle through the road itself. If we define it in this way, now the next phase happens. Now, how do you make the road charge the vehicle? So that is where you guys as engineers have to step in. So that is where it gets a little technical. Now, how do you say, some might tell that we can lay underground cables or something? It could be a possibility. I'm not as good as an electrical engineer as you guys are, but we can put an electric cable or something of some sort of a, wherein you can have a very minute charge which is not fatal to human beings, and humans and everybody can interact on the road. And while traveling, that charge will charge the vehicle. Okay? So that becomes your opportunity statement number 2. It is called as a reworked brief. So based on this, now you find systems, now you find solutions, now you find things to make this happen. In this process is what is called as ideation, because you start eliminating things from here. Okay, this won't work. What if this? What this won't work? What if? Okay, instead of cables, can we have a mat on the road? Okay, what if that mat is solar powered? Okay, what if that mat is rainproof? What if we can roll that mat? What if that mat can withstand like 10,000 kilos at a time? So now you start understanding the solution. Now you start understanding the product. Now you start understanding the materials. How do I make this mat? How is this mat important? How cost effective can the mat be? What, after everything created, how do I sell this mat? To whom do I sell this mat? And why do I sell this mat? So this is how a problem is solved through ideation. This is how a problem is solved through design intervention. This is called design thinking. You don't focus on one option, you focus on multiple options. Say, like, for example, the professor just said that we can have an app based. What if the app is integrated into the mat, wherein you can show which areas this mat is available in that app? Say it is integrated to your Google Maps. So you can check out, okay, this, if on this road my charging is less, but if I take this road will charge my car. That is one option that we can look at. What if my charging is, coming to empty, if somebody available who can tow me to that road and I can travel on that road. Even if I park my vehicle on that road, it will charge. So now you understand how the problem is solved. Now you are creating an ecosystem around the problem. And once you understand the ecosystem, you will get the optimal solution. That is how the things progress. And at every stage, you encounter a new problem. And at every stage, you can apply the same methodologies, the same thinking principles, and the same opportunities to arrive at a solution. So that is how we generally function. I hope people understood till here whatever I've said and explained. I'll let me show how do we do the ideation processes. 1 minute. So it is always the opportunity is the center of your solution. So right, charging my vehicle. That is the center of your problem. So how we define it in our design terminology is charging. First question is how. Second question is why. Third question is when. Fourth question is where. Fifth question is with what. Sixth question is how much? So these are the 6 important questions that we generally ask.
And display వస్తుందా మీకు? And display వస్తుందా మీకు?
You can't see my display? నా డిస్ప్లే కనిపించట్లేదా అండి?
మీరు చెప్పండి సార్, నాది స్టక్ అయింది.
Yes, we are able to see.
Okay. So once you understand the 6 basic questions of anything, you understand that the opportunity can be defined within a particular set of things. So once you understand this particular set of things, you can narrow down these particular set of things into multiple options. And based on these multiple options, you can create an optimal solution. So this is what we call as innovation flow. So you take any problem. I would like somebody to give us a new problem. Let us do that. Can somebody define a new problem, or can somebody define a new opportunity? Anything. It could be anything. Hello?
Yeah, we can say that nowadays the batteries are
It need not be electronics related. It could be anything.
yeah.
It could be electronics related. It could be anything. I mean, like,
Performance, sir. Performance of a vehicle. Less efficiency than petrol and diesel vehicles.
ठीक है. No, that electric vehicles are any which was more efficient than petrol and diesel, because petrol vehicle efficiency is 37 and diesel is almost like
Mechanical efficiency, sir.
yeah. ठीक है. What
Sir,
we'll do is
we can think about the safety of the vehicles. Nowadays, everybody is facing that one.
This is
Even
a
though
very good
EVs are
question.
more powerful.
Safety. Safety is a very good question. ठीक है. Let us take safety. Okay. In safety, again in safety, there is crash safety, there is fire safety, there is theft, there is repair or maintenance. What else could be there? Vehicle becoming old, running, safe driving. Then there is passenger safety. Then there is investor safety. Investor safety is somebody who is buying the car. This is how we address any problem. Now, in all these things, what is it that we want to solve? Safety. Which safety are we talking about? What safety shall we define now?
Fire, sir.
Chalo, fire. Okay. So we are considering fire safety now. Okay. Now fire safety comes to the bottom. Now we've identified an option. So this is fire safety now. Okay. Now in fire safety also there are multiple options. Let us list them out. One is a fire arising through an accident, fire arising through a short circuit, fire somebody has intentionally put fire, which is called arson, fire through nature or say hot weather or something, I'll write it nature, fire through electronic malfunction, fire through leakage. Basic. These are some basic these things. What are we solving now further?
Leakage and short circuit, sir.
One. We'll shoot one. We'll select one. Either leakage or short
Short
circuit.
circuit.
Tick. Now I am selecting short circuit. Tick. Now for short circuit.
ఒక దాని నుంచి ఇంకో దానికి లింక్ అయ్యి దాని నుంచి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ తీసుకొచ్చి
Now short circuit. Now short circuit will happen through multiple options. Which is that option? One is faulty wires. One is water. One is interference. I mean, like you have 2-3 different wires which are touching each other. One is improper connections. Short circuit sometimes happens through okay, 1, 2, 3. You have 4 options. What else can short circuit happen through? It could happen through an accident also, right? Somebody unintentionally. It could happen through becoming old. Now, which issue are we solving here? Hello? Now, which issue are we solving here? Oh, is it boring? Is it somebody? Nobody's answering.
Interference and faulty wires both are comes under same, I think.
ठीक है, we can
faulty
do.
wires.
चलो, let us solve faulty wires. Okay. Why are wires faulty? Because of the manufacturer. Because of substandard materials. Damage due to transport. Incorrect wires. Bad maintenance. Correct? So here, now after arriving at this solution, we'll have to understand where we started from again. We'll have to go back. We started from safety. We ended up at wires. And even in wires, most of these 4 things can be defined further. Say, for example, what shall we solve in this wire? Hello?
Manufacturing.
Okay. So we'll solve the manufacturing of wires. We need a new color now. Okay. Now manufacturing of wires. Okay. In the manufacturing of wires, there are always stakeholders involved. Who are the stakeholders? One is the manufacturer itself. For example, Havels or Phenolics or somebody like that. Second is the government agencies, regulators, agencies and stuff. Third is the consumer. Fourth is the distributor and the supply chain. could be your service and maintenance. So these 5 things always govern any product. These are the 5 major stakeholders which governs any product. So what we are solving over here in terms of manufacturing are the same 5 stakeholders. So here, government agencies or something we cannot interfere much with. Consumer would buy whatever he wants. Service only happens after what consumer bought. But manufacturing and distribution, these two are something that we can look at. Because is the wire getting damaged due to transport, or is the wire getting damaged due to substandard particles? If it is, say, now we've arrived at 2 solutions. One is the short circuit happening due to the damage in supply chain, or is it happening because the manufacturer intentionally supplying substandard wires? So intentionally supplying substandard wires, the only option that we have over here is to reject the wire and look for an alternative. But now we arrived at a very beautiful solution, which is damage in supply chain. Now this is the opportunity that we can solve. How do we supply the wire properly without damaging, so that it doesn't create a short circuit? So that is the opportunity. So that is the opportunity. So we are now redefining the opportunity. So how did we start? We started with safety. And now we are redefining the safety parameter as how to transport the wires without damage, so that it will not short circuit. The minute you define this, your entire thought process now has changed, correct? Now you stopped concentrating on safety parameters, this and that. Now your entire focus is to solve this issue. Now you can ideate, okay, how do you transport it without damage? You can transport it through 4 different ways. One is bulk transport, one is batch transport, one is individual transport, and one is institutional transport. So bulk is mass manufactured, batches again when you have small batches to different like distributors and these things. Individual is you going and buying it. Institutional is the company supplying directly to this thing. So all these 4 things, one thing would be common to transport, which is packaging. So this packaging is something we can always improve. So majority of the defects in the transport arrive due to faulty packaging, because packaging is leaking or packaging is cut open, then it doesn't happen. So now we'll have to find out solutions for packaging the product effectively. This is how you find optimal solution. For what? The optimal solution is found out for safety. I hope you understood how the innovation flow happens. So these are all the parameters we'll have to focus. These are all the parameters that you have to think into before arriving at a solution. Because a good wire will always, again, if you look back, a good packaging will always protect the wire. A good wire will always doesn't damage in supply chain. A good wire is always manufactured properly. A good wire is not faulty. A good wire doesn't short circuit. A good wire doesn't create fire. I hope you understood how the innovation flow happens and how you arrive at, based on one problem, how do you arrive at solutions and what are the different stakeholders involved in this. This is just a basic design thinking principle that you can apply anywhere, not only for, say, a wire or something. Even to buy groceries, you can apply the same methodology. To buy anything that you want, you can apply the same methodology.
Participants, any queries or discussion in this regard? Actually participate and interact with the speaker.
No, I hope, point number one, I hope you guys understood what I've done here, what was happening and what was going through. I hope you guys have understood how, from a problem, how do we arrive at a solution. Hey, thanks, man. Thank you.
Anybody to discuss anything on this, because he has given a best way of a thought process for problem solving and ideation. So if no questions are not there, we'll conclude. I request the participants to raise your doubts and you can interact.
You can apply the same process to any of your problems, you will effectively solve that, and you'll come out with beautiful solutions for that. All it takes is awareness. I mean, you'll have to be aware of how things happen.
Uday sir, then we'll conclude, sir.
Sure.
So coming to the just.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yeah. Anybody want to speak?
Sir, this is Shanmugh from Matrusri Engineering College, IIIE second year,
Yeah,
fourth
Shanmugh.
semester.
Yeah. Chepandi.
Sir, only this design can be related it to architecture also, sir, or it is different from this?
Good question here. Architecture, what we do is similar to what architects do. We are kind of architects itself.
But
Because
we are modern architectures,
build a
sir, or
building, I'll ask you a simple question. If you want to build a building, what is the process to build a building?
plans,
Construction.
timeline.
No, generally, what do you do? There are 4 ways of building it, correct? You can build it on yourself. I mean, you can build a home. Any human being can build a home. You go to the low-level contractors or mestris and then you get it done. You go to an engineer and you get it done. And you go to an architect and get it done. Now you tell me which is the correct process.
All are correct.
Everything is correct, exactly. But the flow, if it happens from an architect to a Matrusri, you will not have information loss and the flow would be correct because a lot of things would be eliminated and here the actual working happens. You would not think about what to do next here. It is only action, action, action. Planning should happen there. Again, to rephrase this question, you have pain in your hand. Okay? There's an orthopedic doctor. There is a normal doctor. Orthopedic doctor is doctor who takes care of bones and joints and pains.
Yes.
You have a normal doctor. You have a physiotherapist. Correct? Who do you approach?
Orthopedic, sir.
Why?
Specialization. Only
Exactly. So once you have that specialization, what we have is that same thing. We have that specialization to understand all these three because an orthopedic doctor can understand a general doctor. He can also understand say a physiotherapist. Similarly, an architect can understand the engineer. I'm not telling the architect is an engineer. The architect understands the engineer. The architect understands the Matrusri. Because to design something, you'll also have to have an understanding of the engineering, and you also have to understanding how it gets built or manufactured. So when you have the awareness, the specialization, then it comes. Then you design something which is unique. Then that flow of work happens. That is how it generally happens.
Okay, sir.
Anybody
Thank
else?
you, sir. Got it.
Thanks, yeah. Thank you. Anybody else?
Yeah, Uday sir. I think people got proper idea on this area. If it is real time, that means offline, it would be more interesting to interact with the people, really. So, as a conclusion remarks, you have given the clear picture of the problem solving and ideation with the different examples. Started with steps in problem solving, methods to ideation, and especially I have taken electric vehicle battery technology. And a thought-provoking discussion is done on innovative methods for charging battery electric vehicles. And you have given different illustrations for problem solving and ideation with EV safety and fire, etc. Especially, you have taken different problems, solutions, again, selected problems from the solutions. Again, for that, you have given a new solution. This is a chain model. So
Correct.
that's really interesting because from solutions, again, what is the next problem? From problem, what is the next solution?
Correct.
So everybody should have that clarity in the planning and execution, even in the real time, that is very much required, actually. So this is what the thought-provoking thing is required for an engineer. So really, you are thankful to the IIC for creating such a platform to conduct such type of events, which is beyond the curriculum or apart from the regular curriculum. And you clearly defined the problem solution ideation methodology with the explicit examples. I hope that all the participants are enlightened with this discussion. Now I hand over to my HOD sir to give a small conclusion on this.
Mr. Uday, you have crossed beyond expectations.
Thank you.
What
Thank
you
you.
have said is much useful, and then I think the young brains must think seriously about their ideas to become into a reality. And what you have shown in the PPT, that how it can be generated, is really useful. I think our students make use of it, and then by the time they come out of the college, they will get a good ideas about their project work. Congratulations. Thank
Thank
you. And I've sent the mail to WhatsApp mail to you to
I
send me
checked that.
the.
I checked that. I've checked.
Okay.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
I
We'll
would
be in
like
touch
to
with
thank
you.
Matrusri for giving the opportunity to interact with students because it is very boring and monotonous for our jobs. Sometimes if we interact with students, it's very happy for us that we get to spend some time with young minds.
Okay.
I really thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much.
this is an online session. Hope we can do some offline session in the campus itself, wherein we can come down and we can have much more better interaction.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks all. Thank you.
Thank you, Uday sir.
Thank you.